So we open the episode, Greg taps out, and we are down to 4 contestants remaining. Kind of seemed like mentally Greg just couldn't handle it this time around. He was really having like some form of PTSD about his last experience on Alone. Couldn't handle it, so he's gone. We are down to 4 people left. Callie, Amos, Woniya, and Michelle. Let's just start with Callie, everybody's favorite. She seems quite content food-wise. She's got her big piece of fat that she found on the beach. She's able to collect mussels for protein and quite happy eating some seaweed to kind of fill in the rest of the gaps. So, her focus doesn't have to strictly be on chasing after food all the time, because she knows that ocean isn't going anywhere. And for the 50 days there, they are out there. I kind of doubt that everything is going to be totally frozen over by the end. Where do we end this episode? Like 10 days in, where temperatures are still hovering around 0, no snow on the ground. I think that, in another 30 days time, that it's not going to be like the dead of winter overnight. It's just not going to happen. So I think that bodes pretty well for Callie if she's kind of got that plan, that strategy, that mentality, and also knowing that she only has to make it 50 days. This could work out quite well for her. We did see near the end of the episode Callie spot a grouse but does not have her arrows, ends up going back, finding her arrows, or getting her bow, and then somehow manages to shoot an arrow into the ocean, which she decides to wade out into the ocean to get that arrow back. Kind of interesting, because we saw Michelle also have the arrow situation where spotted a grouse, didn't have her bow with her, and we also saw Woniya have to go into the ocean. So Callie kind of combined the experience of Woniya and Michelle, just trying to, I think, just one up everybody as we head towards 50 days. Amos didn't get too much from him. He was really focusing on firewood. Saw that was one of his downfalls last time, so he was chopping a bunch of firewood, getting a little bit sloppy and potentially tired while doing that. I didn't think that was great for Amos, because we've not seen him have success bringing in the calories yet. We saw him trying to fish, not having any success whatsoever. And if he doesn't figure out a way to get calories, he's going to be in trouble, because I think that last time he was on, he had a period of time where he was very successful at the fishing and came into this thinking he was going to be able to do that again. And so far, does not look like that's going to happen. So he's trying to shift his plans to kill a bear. And we all know that's not going to happen. If somebody had killed a bear, just like any other season, it would be all over the promos. You remember when Roland took down that ox? It was all over their promos. It was the thing that they were hyping the entire season around. So if you think somebody killed a bear and they kept it all under wraps, not a possibility. So I don't think things look great for Amos long term. We could very quickly end up with just our 3 ladies here battling it out to see who can make it to 50 days. Woniya, don't really think that this was a great episode for you. First off, she pepper sprays her bed. You broke the safety on the pepper spray and somehow managed to trigger it in the middle of the night. Like, I think that was 2:30 in the morning, where she's stuck in her shelter, pepper spray on her hands, pepper spray on her jacket. At some point, I think she said she rubbed pepper spray in her eyes. Like, I'm sure it was an absolutely miserable night for her. We did see her have huge success gathering mussels. she had an enormous pile of mussels and was kind of making some cairns to hide them in the ocean. We'll see how that turns out for her. I don't know if she's gonna have total success for that strategy, but I do think she'll at least be able to keep some of those mussels in a good condition to eat a little bit longer. So hopefully that works out for her, because after she finished that, she manages to lose her gathering bag into the ocean, and as I said earlier, she ends up having to strip down, wade into the ocean to get it back. From there, we go to her shelter, which is not working out. Water was getting around the side of her roof, straight onto her sleeping bag. On top of that, her tarp is now full of holes and leaking. You know, I think at one point she said that it was just raining inside of her shelter, something that she's definitely going to have to correct moving forward. But she did end the episode by apparently finding an entire lumber yard on the beach and was hauling some pretty nice lumber back to wherever she was going to either improve her shelter or start up her new shelter. Lastly, we have Michelle. Her big moment was spotting the grouse in the woods. No bow with her. Luckily for Michelle, she's able to go back to camp, get her bow, and still take down that grouse. Huge score for her. She's absolutely doing better than her first time around on the show. Out of everyone who's left, I feel like she has the biggest chip on her shoulder. She has the most to prove, and we'll have to see if that's enough to take her to 50 days. If I remember correctly, on her original season, she lasted, I think, 21 days and basically had no food, had nothing. So she's already got the mussels, already got clams, already taken down a grouse. You know, she's got her shelter, which she really put a lot of work into, you know, improving that shelter. I think she mossed an entire side of the shelter to help keep the wind out, help keep that water out, help keep the snow out once we get to that point. And, you know, things are looking not too bad for her. After this episode, I would probably say that Callie, well, I'd say all three of our women are the front runners, and I'm not going to be surprised if they're the three that last the longest after Greg and Mark didn't even make it a week. Think that's it. I think we're done talking about this episode. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I'm out.